podcastprofessor.com. Hi, I'm Lid Shaw from podcastprofessors.com. Welcome to our free video series where we answer the most frequently asked questions about podcasting. A frequently asked question we hear often on Podcast Professors is, how do I know when it's time to launch my show? Did you know that you could be losing money right now by not having your show launched already? In fact, Pat Flynn and John Lee Dumas, both very successful podcasters, talk about this very topic on their podcasts. Pat calculated that he had $10,000 in lost income by not having started his podcast only 1 month earlier. At the time of the episode, he was making an average of $10,000 each month. So had he started 1 month earlier, he would have had another $10,000 in the bank already. And if that weren't enough to motivate you, John Lee Dumas reported that he had potentially lost $100,000 by not launching a month earlier. With those figures looming, you may be asking yourself, why not launch right now? And the answer is that you probably should. However, to launch effectively, you will want to build your show on a solid foundation. Like a house that you plan to live in for many years, your podcast will likely be your home and business for many years. So, you should build it on a foundation that is strong and built in the right place. You wouldn't want to build a mud hut in a flood zone, right? Better to build a brick house on top of the hill. Some of the things you will need to consider to build a solid podcast foundation are: who is my target audience? What is my niche topic? What sort of production schedule can I consistently maintain? Do I have a website ready and a way to build my email list? When you are truly ready to launch, you will want to launch as effectively as possible and with a loud splash, like beginning a long-distance swim race with a cannonball. By creating a launch plan, you can make the most impact when your podcast is released on iTunes. iTunes will give you up to 8 weeks to appear in the new and noteworthy section where new listeners might easily find your show. While no one really knows the secret for ranking highly in iTunes, you can bet that having as many great interviews as possible will help a great deal, so why not reach out to a network of potential listeners to ask for their help? If you don't have a network like that already, then you can start to build one by participating in communities that do. If you are doing an interview-style podcast, then you will want to leverage your guests' network to help the podcast reach a larger audience. And of course, as they say, the money is in the list. So begin collecting your email list with the first episode launched. Don't delay, or you too could be losing significant monthly income in time. Fortunately, at Podcast Professors, we have created an accelerated learning resource just for you that will give you the fuel for a powerful podcast launch. If you enjoyed watching this free video, visit podcastprofessors.com and get instant access right now to over 20 videos where we answer the most frequently asked questions about podcasting so that you can launch your podcasting journey right now and begin living the lifestyle that you want to create. I'm Lid Shaw with podcastprofessors.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
Class dismissed. But don't hesitate to send an email to your professors with any podcast question to the link on this website. And if you've done your homework, I know you've got bright days ahead. Do the math. Podcast yourself.
Podcastprofessor.com